Good evening. This is Cub reporter Ken Cordeiro's coming to you live out of Middletown, Rhode Island, in the United States of America, as it slowly disintegrates. Today's date is March 15th, 2012 AD, which for you people out there that don't know means in the year of our Lord. I'm being sponsored tonight by 2400 Degrees F, which is fine glass and crystal and silver jewelry by creator designer Christina Curtin. Her number is 860-463-4631. For some fine jewelry, please call Christina. Now, as our government completely comes out against its citizens on every level, once again, we're going to start tonight how the state of Rhode Island is coming out against its citizens. The State Economic Development Council, headed by our favorite Newport resident, Keith Stokes, trying to go down to El Salvador to bring in a company to compete against Mr. Dan Shedd, who has a company, Taylor Box, I believe, out of Warren. Instead of trying to help Mr. Shedd, they're going down to El Salvador to bring in his competitors. Once again, trying to devalue work by Americans. But of course, Rhode Island's just a little microcosm of the Obama administration, because our governor, Mr. Know-Nothing Chafee, our know-nothing president, Mr. Obama, they were best friends in the Senate before, when our governor pretended to be an independent or whatever he pretended to be. I don't know. I mean, he's a failure for a clown too. Now, out of this month's Judicial Watch, our president voted in the top 10 of the most corrupt politicians of the last 5 years. Judicial Watch exposes the White House role in the Project Voting Rights scandal, which is the Acorn Group and the Department of Justice conspiring with the White House to steal the election, because Mr. Obama knows his record is just, it's in negative numbers. As Judicial Watch also fights for the illegal immigration law enforcement in Supreme Court, how can we have a country? Seriously, how can we have a country when our own government comes out against its people and won't enforce its laws? That's the number one job of the president, to enforce our immigration laws, but he just wants to give them all backdoor amnesty. Don't deport anybody, let them come in. And if you try and stop it, if a state tries to stop it, he's going to sue the state. He sued Arizona, he sued Alabama. They want you to support these illegal children. Although now they're not criminal and illegal, they're just undocumented. Have you ever known the government not to have a document on every little detail of your life? They want to run every aspect of your life. I cannot do anything without seeing the government involved, whether it's going out to eat at Subway or in a restaurant where they want to raise our meal tax from 8% to 10%. To going down to the beach where you just see sign after sign, no parking, no parking, no swimming. This land was transferred from parks to land to parks. This is for your benefit, for your enjoyment. How can you enjoy anything? All they're doing is putting up sign after sign, telling you can't do this, you can't do that. How can you go down the beach? How can you do anything? What's the other big thing? the CSO, the combined sewer overflow. So if it rains a few times a year, and you can't go swimming for a day, they want to charge you $80 million to fix it. You know, these people are just ridiculous. I mean, is it ever going to stop? Or the Department of Environmental Management, in every town, they have these ridiculous rules. They can't just leave you alone, and they just make stuff up. I mean, here in Middletown, the piping plovers, they're endangered. How are these birds endangered? The land they have set aside for them now on 3rd Beach, 40 years ago, when I was a little kid, there was a concession stand there, a huge concession stand, and a beach house. The piping plovers seem to have survived that. I never heard of them being endangered, and they're still around. Or they can't just fly a quarter of a mile up and live in the bird sanctuary. They got hundreds of acres there, but they have to take my few acres. Or if you have a dog, too bad for you and your dog. Your dog can't go down on the beach either. No dogs allowed. This is federal land. It's only for the birds. They want to put birdhouses in the bird sanctuary. Like God doesn't know how to take care of his birds. These people think they're smarter than God. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. They don't believe in God. They just believe in the rule of some law that they make up. In Newport, they want to redesign Queen Anne Square. Now, it's been a public park now for like 30 years. They want to redo it. That's nice. But all of a sudden, the DEM's involved. They have to dig up the soil. There might be some contamination there from buildings that were there 70, 80 years ago, 100 years ago. You know, dry cleaners or whatever they had there. So it's going to cost them maybe $1 million to dig up the soil, or we have to put down fresh soil. Nobody's gotten sick or anything. I haven't heard of anybody getting sick from walking down there. But no, it's going to cost you a few $100,000, $1 million. What? Just to plant some grass? I mean, is this just like ridiculous or what? Now, out of the Daily News the other night, at the Carnegie Abbey in Portsmouth, the tax bill was reduced by 3.3 million, cutting its tax bill by $46,000. They owe like $1.2 million in taxes. Of course, these are Democrats. They don't want to pay their taxes. They just want you to pay them. Now, at this high-rise, which is totally overvalued, this Sunday they're having a dinner there or something for Congressman David Cicilline, another Democrat whose numbers are just dismal. And they're bringing in Patrick Kennedy and our favorite Moonbaddis, Nancy Pelosi from San Francisco. And she's going to be right here with her coyote friends. Maybe they can serve them coyote on a dish. And they can top it off with a little, well, since it's St. Patrick's Day, how about a little 4-leaf clover? That would be nice for her and Kennedy and Cicilline. A nice coyote dinner. Now, where are we going to go from here? You know, it might be nice if these people realized they work for us. They're supposed to make our lives better, not destroy our lives. All the president does, every word out of his mouth is just a lie. The president is a pathological liar. You know, we have enough oil in this own country. If we actually had an energy policy for the citizens of this country, gas would be like $1.50. How would that be? $1.50. $1.50 for gas. How about if we lowered taxes? You know, how about the president's always going on and on about this or that. Big college campuses, big businesses, big banks, businesses, any kind of business. If you're an actual American citizen that wants to work because you believe in God, so you do work, and they just take advantage of you. You know, Mr. President, how about if you do us all a favor and just resign? That would be nice. So, my email is KenCordeiro's@AmericanOnline.com. So if you'd like, you can send me an email and I'll get back to you as soon as I find my secretary and figure out how to use it. So remember, go to church, it keeps you healthy, and then you won't need Obamacare. So thank you for tuning in to Cub Reporter Ken Cordeiro. This was the 15th edition. Good night.